Terry, of theater, directing, and writing. What does it take to do that? How do you go about directing others on stage? Someone who knows all about that is my guest, theater director, writer, Terry Corigliano. Welcome, Terry.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, all right. So as a kid, did you want to start out being an actress, or was it far from that?
No, all of the above. I've always been in acting ever since I was little, and also writing. So
where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Fairfield, Connecticut.
Okay, so you're a Connecticut girl.
I am, absolutely.
Okay, so you've done a lot of things. I was looking at your resume. How did you start the theater company and produce so many works at the Kate? Where did that start?
Well, I was basically an outlet for me creatively, you know, acting to start at the Kate. And the Kate is, of course, is our favorite theater in Connecticut.
I'm vice president, I should say that.
Yes. And it's just a wonderful venue. And it was a good outlet for me. And I think it was really important for me to start at the Kate because there was such a genuine connection to the community there. It was wonderful.
All right, you're about to embark, you already are, on your 25th produced work at the Kate. It's called The Lodge, and it's about
Lost Lodge. Right.
Lost Lodge.
Lost Lodge.
And it's about folks in a rural, fictional New England town and stuff that happens to them. What's it about?
So Lost Lodge is basically a collection of stories of these people who have ended up at this unique vacation home somewhere in New England, and it is off the grid. There's no telephone, no cell phone, no internet, nothing.
How is that even possible?
It's fictional. Yeah. And so what this house does is has this unique ability to have people kind of look at their lives and change their lives as they need to. And it's wonderful because it gives the audience a fresh, new theatrical look because it's 14 different stories. And although the stories are only 5 to 10 minutes long, you really get connected to these people immediately because they're so human. And we can really feel where they're coming from. And we kind of put themselves, you know, put ourselves in their place. And we just get drawn into the stories.
Terry, how do you write? How do you get an idea for a stage production? Where does that come from?
Well, I had this idea probably about 4 or 5 years ago, but then, you know, you write it and you put it away. And I brought it out about a year ago, and I really just put my whole heart into it. And then what happened is all these people and all these characters and stories kept coming to my mind, and they wanted their stories told, and they wanted to be on stage as well. And so because I had spent so much time in theater and, you know, teaching and producing, I could do that instinctively, and it was so much fun.
How do you know when you've got it right? When you see it on stage, how do you know I nailed it?
I think I know this time around because the actors themselves are having such fun with it. And it was really important for me to have this relatable to all ages. So even our young actors, as well as our older seasoned actors, are just having so much fun with it. They're laughing, they're crying, they're, you know, being really involved in their characters, and they're doing such a beautiful job of bringing it to life.
What would you say to somebody who wants to be a writer or a director in the theater? Because directing actors can be tough sometimes.
Yeah, I think to do any creative venture, especially writing, anything creative, you need to give yourself the time to create. And I know that sounds obvious, but I think what happens to so many creative individuals is that they find themselves, you know, battling with this mindset that when they sit down to do something creative, they should be doing something more important. And really, there's nothing more important to do than being creative. And you need to give yourself time for that. And it's important not to give into that, to believe in it, to do it, and really carve out some time for your creativity.
I would agree with you because the arts are everything, especially in this time in which we find ourselves. Terry, thanks so much for coming on. Good luck with Lost Lodge. It looks so much fun.
Thank you so much.
You bet. And if you want to know more about Terry and her latest play, Lost Lodge, coming up at the Kate in Old Saybrook, go to WTNH.com or the News 8 app.